Worst to best. Get that off. Okay. Nope. Well, hello guys, and welcome back to it's been almost a full year because we didn't start at the very beginning of January. I feel like we started like halfway through. But throughout this entire year, I've played, I would say tons, but this is technically only the 5th one. We started off with Zelda 1. We did that. I still have the finished save file right here. We then moved on to Link to the Past, then Twilight Princess, then Wind Waker, and now we're ending off with Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. If you saw last time we did Death Mountain, you could see it right here. It didn't go well. It wasn't very pretty. But we're continuing on with Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. If I'm correct, last time we got the down slash at the very end just because I was curious about something. Because we made our way through Death Mountain. It was hell. Yep, we got the down slash. And while this isn't a solution to all of our problems, it has potential. Yeah, so we're back. I need to get a level up. It's been not that it's been a while, but I need to upgrade my sword again. So we got to go through here to get the elixir of life or whatever it's called. And of course, we're going to die a lot. Like, if you saw the last part, we died. I'm expecting to die a bunch. Oh my god, we actually killed one of these suckers. And there's our... I knew we're going to die a lot. I might as well just say that. If you saw the last part, I died a bunch. And it's not going to be any different this time. I might also say that I am sick. So just keep that in mind. I was hoping I was going to be over it by this point. I caught it like... Oh, God. Wednesday morning, so right after Christmas. We can also go over here. We can go over here. Oh, God damn it. My goal today is just to beat the, There's 2 dungeons we have to beat. The 5th? I should be getting experience, but I'm stupid. So that's not going to happen. Hey, we got some health up. Sadly, because of how we tackled Death Mountain, we do not have the life up. And even though I am stupid enough to try to take on Death Mountain again, just to get that life up, I don't know. I'm stupid, but am I that stupid? Yes. Short answer, yes, definitely. So I'm considering taking on Death Mountain again. Just to get them, it's a magic up, which I do. The more magic I get, the closer I can get to having 2 full elixirs of life every time I die. Or every time I get hurt, so that's for the best. But it would, of course I hate this one. It was not pretty last time, and I don't expect it to be any prettier this time. Ooh, I'll take that. I do need that magic up. We've got two... Did I say... God. You know, I'm gonna be honest. This snuck up on me today. I completely forgot it was Friday until like an hour ago. So this totally stuck up on me. I did not know this was coming until... very, like, just like a few... like an hour ago, I forgot it was Friday. Because of my experience with Shovel Knight, I actually feel like I've got a better grip on this down thrust, and while it's not the perfect solution to everything, based on where I was in here prior, I do definitely feel a lot more confident in just doing everything. So now we have the Elixir of Life, or whatever it's called, and that's important to do things with. I call this... I might as well also restate that even though I call this a blind playthrough, I do have like a wiki that I am totally not against using. So yeah, I do have a wiki open if I need it. I think though I should be able to get us to the 3rd dungeon. After that, we're kind of on our own. But hey, I can at least get us there. Okay, so my goal, I want to get however many XP is needed to do what I have to do next. Okay, there's our heal. And we need a magic. There's where we got the, whatever that's called. That's where we got the, down thrust, which is super useful. I'm gonna be, I know it's not a one, like an infinite, like, key, a master key situation, but hey. So this woman was asking for the water of life. Now that we have it, we can come through here. Alright, this magic will give you the power. So now we have Fairy. That's, I know, like, there's like a speedrunning trick that, there's tons of like speedrunning tricks that involve Fairy, but I'm not a speedrunner, so I don't know any of them. If you expect me to even know, to think I'd know any of them, no. I know there's like some way to like get through doors, but I don't know that. Yeah, now we're moving on to the dungeon. The second dungeon, it's not far from where we are. Okay. Now there is, you know... This is probably gonna bite me in the ass. So if we come in here... Here's 200 points. We need to get, I think 800 is our sword upgrade, and we need that sword upgrade. Let's get out of here. Shit. This way. Okay. And here's our save point for the rest of the dungeon. There's some health, there's some magic. There we go. We have 3 hearts. We can totally do this dungeon and hopefully get our next level up. I'm just going straight down. Yeah, this is gonna be fun times. Now, I will admit, just like I said, personally, I will be relying on the down thrust a lot. Oh, God. Ooh. Yeah, I do need that. God, I need that magic upgrade from Death Mountain. After we do this dungeon, we may go take another stab in Death Mountain just for the hell of it. So, one of the... oh, you know... Okay, so it's not here. Eventually, we'll be able to, like, break through these blocks because this game's mean. And when we can, there'll be... I know there's, like, stuff hidden in them. Just because that's totally how these games work. We got new enemies, chompy dealies, I don't know. Who knows what they actually do. Let's get out of here. Of course, their random attack pattern. Remember skeleton guys? Okay, come on. Okay, I'll take a key. I will take a key. So tonight, the big thing, because this is the end of the year, Zelda, a culmination of a year's worth of... God, I'm an idiot. I was just trying to jump on him. Culmination of a year's worth of work. So we will be talking about... I want to, like... My idea was, like, to rank all the Zelda games. At least that's how I'm thinking about it. Because I've played all of them except for 3. One of which is the one I'm playing right now. There we go. We need that sword upgrade. We do need that. But I want that life upgrade. We're going to save for that sword upgrade. Nothing. Of course it hits me. Of course it hits me. God. I can hear the woofer crying. We got magical floating pony heads. I don't even know if we can kill them. Well, I know we can. It's just, I don't even want to think about that. You see these blocks? Use your down slash on these blocks and you die. Because this game is mean like that. I mean, what else would you expect, really? But yeah, so we'll be ranking all... I think there's about 18. That's what I figure, is there's like about 18. God damn it. This is my hell. This is my hell. And if I die one more time, I'm fudged. Of course. So 18 Zelda games, and we'll be talking about all of them. The good, the bad. Well, I'd argue none of these games are... None of these games are that bad. It's just there are ones that are worse than others. That's how I'm going to put it. If I could jump on the... There's a way to stun lock that thing by jumping on it. Yeah, so let's just... Because who knows how long I'm going to go. I mean... There we go. There's our sword upgrade. Now we do more damage. Thank Jeebus. So, I guess let's start off with number 18. 18 is Triforce Heroes. Triforce Heroes. Now, okay, so I have played this game, and I've played most of it. But I don't... It's been years, but I don't think I've beaten it. We got... I died. Shit. But we got our sword upgrade, so there's no use in resetting. Right, well, we can just run back there. It'll take a fortnight. Yeah. Yeah, we have a new... But yeah, so Triforce Heroes came out on 3DS just earlier this year. Or, I mean, just this generation. It's not the newest Zelda game. That's still Breath of the Wild. But it was the one that came out right before Breath of the Wild. Its gimmick is that you have 3 characters, and they all have to work together. It's not dissimilar to... It's not dissimilar to Four Swords, which we will get to. But, and while, yeah, it's fine, there's nothing really outstanding about Triforce Heroes. That's why it ranks at the bottom for me, because it's a fine game. There are definitely worse Zelda games. It's not that there's worse, but, well, okay, yes, there technically are, because Faces of Evil exists, even though we don't really talk about that one. But, and I will not be talking about Faces of Evil or Wand of Gamelon or whatever the other one is, because nobody cares. Nobody cares, and I know there's always that one asshole who does, but you know what I mean. But yeah, Triforce Heroes is whatever. It's fine, it's got some fine level design, but it's nothing outstanding. It's very simple, and you need 3 people to do it. It did luckily have online play, which was nice. That's... not something I expect from Nintendo, but it was also a budget title for 3DS. So there's only so much you can expect from something like that. And yeah, they do it about how you'd expect. God, it reminds me of this. It reminds me of that room in Castlevania. You know the one. Honestly, I had more trouble on the boss than I did that room. But yeah, so I don't hate Triforce Heroes, but I don't love it either. There were some neat mechanics. I like the costume mechanic. That was kind of neat. And how they each had different effects. But overall, it was just kind of whatever. Next up at number... Now, okay, so... The next up, we have one... So I said there are 3 Zelda games I've never played. But... Oh god, I can hear the woofer freaking out. Shit! Shit, I was preoccupied by the woofer who's freaking out. Give me a second. Timber! Come here! Who is being the baddest boy? I know it's snowing outside, but no. It's snowing. Who's my goodest boy? Who's the good boy? You can't go barking up somebody else's tree. I know. You're the goodest boy. Yes, you are. You need to lay down, goodest boy. Just relax. Just relax. I know. I'm here. I'm here. Who's my goodest boy? Don't go barking up the wrong tree. Yes, goodest boy. I give him 5 minutes. Because he's heckin' angry. He went out to face the snow. Yeah, it's actually, you know, it's funny. It hasn't snowed locally in like 2 years. In December, I'm talking. 2 or 3 years. This year, it finally starts snowing again, and it came back with a vengeance. I mean, it's not the worst we've ever seen, but it came back with a vengeance this year. So we're still stuck in this hell room. Oh yeah, we beat the enemy. I forgot. And then I got hit by the orb dealie. So, like I was saying, there are some Zelda games I've never beaten. 3, in fact. One of them being the one we are currently playing. So, it's... Now, a sane person would just not put these on the list. But one of them I'm tying with its counterpart. The other 2 go wherever I want them to go. And, yeah, you'll see exactly where they're gonna go. You'll see exact... But we start off with number 16, one of the 3 I have not played. Did we come to the end of this room and not find anything? I don't remember. One of the 3 Zelda games I have not played, Phantom Hourglass. Phantom Hourglass was on the DS. when it came out, I wasn't big into Zelda games. And the reason why I'm putting it down here at the very bottom is because if I had no interest in playing the game, even after playing all these other Zelda games, if I have no interest in playing Phantom Hourglass, that's a problem with the game, technically. So yeah, I do feel somewhat justified in putting it here at the bottom. It might be better than I expected, because I mean, I've played its sequel, Spirit Tracks, and I think that game is fine? Well, we'll get to Spirit Tracks when it shows up on the list here in a minute. But yeah, no, I don't hate, like, just because I have no interest in Phantom Hourglass, I will play it one day. I just don't own a copy, and it sucks because we're at this weird point in time where, like, retro games, like as early as Game Boy Advance, are going lower in price because they're retro, but yet the DS is old enough to be, like, to have games cheap, but also it's old, right, to have games for cheaper than their retail, but it's still not, like, old enough where, its games are like now rising in price. They'll eventually fall again, but like you used to be able to buy Twilight Princess and Spirit Tracks for like 20 bucks. Now I think it's 40 for both, which does suck. But yeah, that's kind of where the market is right now. I'll pick Spirit Phantom Hourglass up eventually. But just the fact that I had no interest in it shows an innate problem with the game. So yeah, that's why I haven't actually played it. I know there are some problems. Is it Tower of the Ocean King? Is that what it's called? But I'll play it one day, just not anytime soon. I have no interest in playing it anytime soon. So that's, I don't have much to say on it. But just know it is a Zelda game. That does exist, and I don't care about it. I have no idea how I just made it through that room. So next up is at 16, the game we are currently playing, Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. Now, yes, I am technically judging this on what happened in the first part, which, if you saw the first part, it was like just me dying for almost like an hour and a half straight, just death after death. But I can see some, but the reason why it's not at the very bottom, even though I am extremely bitter towards it, is because there is some positive to it. Like, I can see this game does have potential, even if I don't like it. Because, I mean, look at this. I just died again. I hate this game. I hate this game! But no, this game does have potential. It's just not my style. I mean, I'm still playing. You know, if I could have had it my way, instead of doing more Zelda 2 today, we would have just sat down and done the tutorial to Skyward Sword, which that would have taken up a full 2 hours. And yeah, Skyward Sword's not perfect, but I would have much rather just spent the entire 2 hours just doing the tutorial to Skyward Sword than I would have doing what we are currently doing. Just because, yeah. But hey, we started it and we are not finishing it. I have no intention of finishing this game. So, much like Cuphead or Sky Factory, once we finish up today, it's over. Unlike Cuphead and Sky Factory, though, this is completely intentional. Whereas in those, I didn't intend to end, but they just kind of did. Yeah, no, this is exactly what I'm planning on doing. But yeah, well, yeah, I hated Death Mountain, and that was just a pain in the ass for me. I will admit, actually, like, because there's the Dark Souls idea, which is if you slam your head against a brick wall, eventually either you break or the wall breaks. And that was last time with Zelda 2. I slammed my head against the brick wall that was Mount Rage Quit, and eventually the wall broke. And so that's really fascinating. Oh my god. I got super lucky right there. Yeah, I was able to break the wall. It's crazy, because I usually am not that lucky. But hey, it happened once. So that's neat. God damn it. I don't know why that guy kicks... That one guy at the end just kicks my ass. I cannot get the hit off on him. Plus, dealing with this ball of doom thing doesn't help. Because, of course, it's right where I'm standing. And it literally has, like, DVD player AI. I should not be getting hit by it as much as I am, but hey. Whatever. Fuck it. See. But yeah, so Zelda 2, it's at the very bottom. Not at... well, you know what I mean. Because how couldn't I put it down low? I think, yeah, we came through here last time. Fought these guys, of which I have no interest in refighting. Oh, god damn it. Yeah, so that's just where I'm putting it. I mean, if I doubt it'll make, even if I beat it, I doubt it'll go much higher, but hey, everything starts somewhere. God, I take so many hits. Okay, we have to go this way. Because I think there's a key over here. So next up at, I want to say 15. Give me a second. I gotta pull back up my list because I have it all written down. 14. At 14, we have Spirit Tracks. Spirit Tracks is the one of the 2DS games. Spirit Tracks is the one I've actually played. It's again, there are no out of everything I have on this list, none of them are bad. And while Spirit Tracks has its problems, I wouldn't say it's bad by any means. It just has problems. Oh, does this have a... No, it doesn't. Shit. God, that would have been so useful. I'm about to die. Yeah, so Spirit Tracks, it's the Tower's... It's not called the Tower of... It's called the Tower of Spirits. Right, they fixed some of the problems, but I hear they, like, fixed them too much. And there are still some problems with the game. It's still DS. I know a lot of people just hate the game instinctively because it has trains. I think that's kind of a bullshit excuse, you know? Saying the game is bad because of trains is stupid. Like, that's not an actual problem with the game. He's raiding with a party of 3. Oh, cool. I don't know what that means. No, I do. So, yeah. Spirit Tracks. It's a... I think it's fine. People give it way too much shit just because it has trains in it. But I wouldn't say that's like an actual problem with the game. It's just how Spirit Tracks works. That's the design of Spirit, right? I think it's trying to do something more interesting, and I think as a means to that end, it does it fine. Oh, God. Get him good. Oh, I'm about to die. I am so about to screw this up. Yep, there we go. This is not going to be fun. Nope. Alright. Alright. So, yeah, Spirit Tracks is whatever. I don't... there are much worse things than Spirit Tracks. Just, it gets way... the puzzle design is fine. The dungeon design is fine. Everything is just fine. Okay. Oh god. Oh, we're so close. If only we had gotten that P bag, we'd be at the next level. Oh god. Nope. There we go. There we go. And I think that was my final life. Yep. Yay. Oh, god. What else did I expect? That's where it's, you know, in the bag. Oh god. Oh. Haha, funny. Take me to the next level. Ha ha ha. Not like I have much better to say. Shit. Shit. Okay. Okay, so back to the dungeon. That's not what I wanted. Alright, alright, alright. I can do this. It's... It didn't even feel like that hard of a boss, but I'm stupid, so what else would I expect? Where was I? Got some poop jokes too. Okay, I'm playing stupid. Okay. Nope. Okay. Come on. Nope. Nope. Book it. Oh my god. Come on, slow down. Oh my god, they did a lot of damage. Oh shit. Oh my gosh. Nope. I'm screwed. Oh crap. Okay, I think down here. Okay, so I can either do the stupid thing and waste my time, or I just book it. Yep, I didn't expect anything less. I mean, once we beat the boss, we get our next levels, so it's not like I'm gaining any XP from fighting these guys. Oh god. Okay. Okay. Oop. And here. And come on. No shit. Okay. Okay. Don't you get the shotgun for beating this boss or something? I don't know what game you're playing, but... Shit. Okay. Isn't Hello Kitty afternoon? Oh my gosh. Hello Kitty afternoon adventure. Nope. Still bad at that. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Okay, now comes the time when we cheat. Welcome to Cheatersville, everybody. Population me. Alright. Wow. After Mount Rage quit last week, I never thought I'd actually get by to do the second dungeon. Like, I was so ready to be done with it. And I still am. I most definitely still am done with this game, but hey, let's keep moving. I completely lost track that I was doing, ranking all the Zelda games to end off year Zelda. Where was I? Triforce, Phantom Hourglass, Adventure of Link, Spirit Tracks, Four Swords. So I guess next up is Four Swords. Four Swords. Now, Four Swords is one of the ones that I'm surprised I've actually played. Oh, give me that. Oh, yes, I actually got it. Not like I really needed it. Yeah, Four Swords is... It's GameCube, but you need, like, a convoluted setup. And I had a friend who, like, had never played it and was like, oh, yeah, let's... He was willing to, like, put in the money to get the convoluted setup. And I was like, yeah, sure, I have a Game Boy Advance. I'll help chip in for that. So, yeah, we did Four Swords. And I've played it once. It's kind of fun. If you're getting together with 4 people and playing it, it can actually be really fun. But you need to have the setup and everything. That's a game I want to have a remake. That's one that deserves a remake. because there is a lot of good happening in it. Because, I mean, it was made by Capcom, the same people who do a few of the other ones. But I had to get a setup to do it. So to get to the next dungeon, I remember someone in town said, come to the King's Grave, which... This is King's Tomb, or King's Tomb, whatever, King's Grave. And then we walk down, fall in here. Of course. And now we're in King's Tomb, which we need fairy? Yep, and there we go. We're on our way. We can now kill these buggers. Ooh, I'll take the magic. But yeah, Four Swords is it's a very simple Zelda game. It's a lot like Triforce Heroes, but way more charming. They kind of did a version on they did a version on like Game Boy, on like DS. The Anniversary Edition, and the Anniversary Edition's okay. It's a lot simpler, it's a lot shorter. And here we are. Alright, next dungeon time. Save scumming the shit out of this. It's so nice the next two dungeons are so close together. This is probably as far as I'm getting tonight. I will probably beat this dungeon, but it's probably going to take another hour. Hopefully. Yep. It's going to take another hour. But yeah, Four Swords, fine game. Fine game. If you have a chance to play it, get together with a group of friends. I do hope they remake it at some point. I think the Switch would be a fine place for it, or give it more, because like Triforce Heroes tried to do something a little similar but different. We have new skeleton guys who are like old skeleton guys, but more annoying. New enemy here. Got these guys still. They still take experience. Oh my god. Ah. My Shovel Knight skills are failing me. They are failing me. Okay. Yeah, so Four Swords, play it. Next up, I want to say it's A Link to the Past, actually. I am not... I streamed Link to the Past. I beat it for the first time ever earlier this year. And yeah, I can say I'm not a fan. Like, that's the nicest way I can put it. I will probably one day really enjoy that game. But that day is not today. I just cannot get into it. Shit. Okay, there's a pea bag there I can get, but I will just game over because that's me. Link to the Past. So I didn't... I've always... Link to the Past is I've always had a personal vendetta against. I've just... it's never clicked with me personally, and I've never enjoyed it. Personally. I finally beat it for the first time this year, and I struggled, and I hated it. Kind of like what's going on right now. It's surprising, out of the 3 retro Zelda games I've played this year, somehow the original is the one I've had the least trouble with. I don't know how that happens, but hey, that happened. Come on, come on, come on. You know where we should take another... You know where we should take another stab at? Death Mountain. Oh, crap. This is not what you want. This is... Oh my god, this is hell. No, run. That's hell. Oh god, I'm stuck in it again. Oh. This is... How did I get into this scenario? Oh, thank God. Shit. Run. Why didn't I heal before I took that? I'm stupid. I am stupid. Oh my God. I am... But yeah, I didn't like Link to the Past. I finally played it this year. And I didn't like it. But I guarantee if I play it again one day, I will really like it. Because this is, right, opinions change constantly. If you don't think they do, then you're just an idiot. And I guarantee you one day I will love Link to the Past. But that day is not today. And I know this because as I was playing through, I'd played through the first like 3 or 4 dungeons. But after playing through it again, doing the first, like, I remember hating the 3rd dungeon, but playing through the game again, I didn't mind the 3rd dungeon. The 3rd dungeon wasn't that bad. And that's what I expect playing it in a few years will be like, where I'll play through the 3rd dungeon, where I'll play through the entire game, and now that I know what I'm doing and how to beat the game, I will probably enjoy it a lot more. But playing it again this year, nah, that was never going to happen. I'm spending way too much time running and not fighting. That's my big problem. Link to the Past. Next up, again, another retro game, Legend of Zelda. That I played earlier this year. I think it's a... Of course. I think Legend of Zelda is a fine game. And you know, I know it has problems, like it's super cryptic and... you basically cannot beat it without like a manual or something, whether that be an actual manual or the one that comes with the game. But I just had a lot of fun playing through it this year. Yeah, did I struggle? The 5th and 6th dungeons were hell. But other than that, no, I remember actually really enjoying it. Especially every other dungeon, actually like exploring the world and like... I'm trying to kill the stupid spiny guy, but the red guy just... Oh my God. I need to get to the dungeon with 3 health. That's the only way I'm going to do this. If I get to the dungeon with 3 health. Or with 3 lives, and then I'm able to save scum it from there. But the chances of me actually doing that are slim to nothing, because I do not have good luck. Yep. Yeah, it's... I mean, we beat it in 9 hours. I still don't understand how the final boss worked. But to finally play it, it is fun, it's creative. Yeah, it's an NES game. But it's got a lot of what makes NES games great. God damn it, am I really already in the graveyard? I don't need this shit. I don't need this shit. Okay. Yeah, no, I just enjoyed it. I didn't it's not that I didn't well, okay, I'm gonna be honest. I did not expect to. It's the original Zelda game. And you could argue it didn't hold up. There is definitely the argument to be there made, but I personally enjoyed it. I had fun with it, and that's kind of what matters, and this is my personal list of Zelda games, so of course, whatever I think personally matters is what's going to get it points on this list. Oh, just jumping over. Alright, here we are at the dungeon, and I am... right there. I'm gonna save scumming right there. We made it here with 3 lives. Perfect place. So now I can just do this as many times as I need. Yeah, it's number 11, Legend of Zelda. I was expecting a lot worse, but it actually holds up fine. Number 10, 3 games we played in a row on stream. The one we just finished earlier this month, Wind Waker. Wind Waker, not Wind Waker. God, I mean Twilight. Wait, which one is it? It's not the one we did earlier this month. I was reading it wrong. I don't know how I got Wind Waker out of that. Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess is... God damn it, just get me out of there. Twilight Princess, it has its problems. Some of the dungeons have poor designs. Some of them have great designs. Lakebed Temple was pretty enjoyable. It takes like 3 hours. 2 to 3 hours to get through all the tutorial stuff and get to the first dungeon. It takes It's slow. It does have a slower start. It doesn't have the greatest characters. Mallow. Who else is there? There's Mallow. Oh God. Nope. Shit. I knew I was screwed when I fell through the block. I can cheap out that entire thing. Those guys have a lot more health. You actually don't need high jump to get up here, if I think correctly. Yeah, Twilight Princess is... Yep. You don't need high jump. Twilight Princess is fun. It's got some great moments. It's got some great temples. It's got some not so great temples. Snow Peak has great atmosphere. The only temple I didn't love... Well, I didn't care for the first 2, but like there was City in the Sky at the very end, but even then I didn't, I was expecting to, after I got through like the first half of it, the second half of City in the Sky was a lot better than the first half. I'll just say that. Okay, so we got these heads. That we now have to deal with. We'll figure out if this is the right way. I forgot I was originally going to go back to Death Mountain and get a magic upgrade. I completely forgot I was going to do that. Shit! Oh, that was cheap. Oh, God. Game. That was bullshit. Okay, we have these Blue Knights now. These are upgrades, and they are the hardest thing in the world. This one is going to murder me. The raft is right behind that door. Oh, God, I want to be done. I did a dungeon. I'm tired already. This game is exhausting. I could restart. I could go back to just my save scum point. But I don't know. I don't know if I want to. I mean, we did actually make little progress. You know, we only got like 2 keys. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, no, it's not that big of a deal. I'm fine with saves coming back here. But yeah, Twilight Princess. I'm glad I finally beat it this year, because I had played it, but I had never actually beaten it, and it was a good one to finally beat. Some people give it a lot of shit that it does not deserve. It's Zelda's Sunshine, honestly. A game that I really enjoy and play almost every year. Well, okay, I don't play Twilight Princess every year, but I play Sunshine almost every year. And every time, it's really enjoyable. And yeah, Twilight Princess was enjoyable. Next up, now, there are 3 Zelda games, like I said, I have not played. Next up, we have Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. I'm putting them in... When I was younger, I always assumed Oracle of Ages and Seasons... Or when yeah, let's put it like that. I originally assumed Oracle of Ages and Seasons were, like, the same game. Turns out they're not. Oh, God. This is my hell. This is my hell. But yeah, Oracle of Ages and Seasons is not the same game. That's why I've only played Seasons? I've only played one of them. Yeah, I think it's Seasons. I think it's the blue one? I'm so tired. I am so tired. Once I said I was going to beat the 3rd dungeon. We shall see about that. God, it's crazy to think the 2nd dungeon. I feel like this dungeon should be... I know it's crazy to think that this dungeon should be easier, but after, like, Death Mountain, this shouldn't be that bad, and yet I'm getting my ass kicked. I don't need either of these saved. God, I'm so tired. Yeah, I played Oracle of Seasons years ago, whenever Link Between Worlds came out. Right around that time, because I think that's when it got added to 3DS eShop. And that's when I played it. God, these things just kill me so fast. I still need to consider, do I want to go back to Death Mountain for the magic upgrade? Because now that I have the, the Pogo... But these gangs give me 100 points. If only I killed those skeleton guys easier. Yeah, Oracle of Ages and Seasons they're the first ones made by Capcom. And again, for the longest time, I assumed they had the Pokemon curse of where they were the same game. And I guess there are some things that interlink with one another. So if I play, like, Seasons again, I also have to play... Or if I play Ages, I have to either play Seasons after that, or... something like that. I might as well play Ages and then play Seasons after that, because they do affect one another. I can't tell if I just got hit a shit ton right there, or if that fire just does a bunch of damage. I still got I'm getting my ass kicked. Why did I shouldn't have restarted. I should not have, because now I cannot get past this point. I should just try to get back to where I was. Oh wow, I can actually hit those suckers. Don't care about these knights. I know they're good XP, but who cares about them? Alright. But yeah, you know, it's weird. I haven't played them in so long. But yeah, I don't... You know, that's my problem tonight, is I feel like I don't have much to say about any of these games. Like, a bunch of them we've played on stream. Well, okay, 4 of them. Including... Well, 5, including the one we got right now. Okay. Push. It's not registering my second hit. There we go. But yeah, Oracle of Ages and Seasons have... Come on. Come on. I'm trying to think of anything specific. I mean, yeah, using a Seasons gimmick instead of... Most Zelda games, especially since Ocarina, stick to time travel. But using a Seasons gimmick isn't bad. I like that idea. I wonder what's this way. Well, the item's this way, so it's actually more beneficial to go this way. Okay, I'll take that. Fall off. Okay. Oh yeah, but there's the stupid... And of course it couldn't give me any potion or anything useful. Yeah, no, I'm dead right here. That guy just does too much damage. Oof. I have nothing to say about Oracle of Ages and Seasons. Those are ones... Again, if I had been better at playing games, those are ones I would have played this year. But because I'm not, I didn't. So, that's not happening. So, yeah. You know, as stupid as it sounds, we're going back to Death Mountain. I want that magic upgrade, even though it's not that big a deal. It feels like it is, and I'm making very little progress in the actual dungeon. So let's go get a stupid magic upgrade. We only have to get through so much of Death Mountain. We only have to do the main core. We don't actually have to do the room that gave me hell, plus I can save scum the shit out of it. I mean, what else is new for me? Of course, I walked off the beaten path. Is this head bridge or bubble bridge? This is head bridge. Okay. Okay, we'll go get healed up, and then we'll go into the, whatever, the dungeon. Not you, did something else. It's the lady in red who has sex with us. Shh. Ah, God. It's you. Alright. Yep, I can heal you. Alright, I have nothing to say about Oracle of Ages and Seasons. Next up, Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening is... It's touted as the experimental Zelda game. It came right after, I want to say, Link to the Past. And it has a bunch of design features that would become staples of the series because it was the first one ever to try them, right? It's very creative, very fun. I like how you're collecting the instruments to wake up the windfish. Spoiler alert, I've always liked how it's all... I don't know if it's a dream, but that's like, it's all like a dream in the mind of the windfish. Like the entire island is like that. And when he wakes up, everyone dies. It's dark, but I kind of love that. Let's do this one. That's something I've always found really interesting about the game. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's not something I expect from Link's Awakening, but it has that. The dungeon design is good. Eagle's Tower is great. Being a dungeon where being a dungeon early on in the game where you collapse one of the floors into the previous floor that has you thinking about spatial reasoning and all that mumbo jumbo is actually really interesting, and it's like a nice take that would influence future Zelda games. There's a lot about Link's Awakening that I just think works really well. And it's one of the more interesting, one of the more, like, it's both influential as the 2D games go, but it's also, like, one of the better designed ones. Is that? These guys are now, so while these Dairos could still give me trouble. Oh god, where do I go from here? I literally cannot remember if I go left or right. Okay, I think I go this way. Yeah, this is familiar. Of course. Of course, this is still by hell. But yeah, Link's Awakening, it's great. If I use jump. See, I was struggling so much to get that last time. Alright. Link's Awakening. Yeah, it's a Game Boy. I recommend playing the DX version. It's available on Virtual Console. Minish Cap. Is this? Yeah. So Minish Cap, I remember the first time I played it, when I got it as part of the 3DS Ambassador program, I remember it actually being like one of the best 2D Zelda, the best 2D Zelda game. In hindsight, that's not entirely true. I replayed it earlier this year, not part of the Year of Zelda thing, but just like in my own personal time. And, you know, the first half definitely is. The first half of Minish Cap is great. The second half, however, isn't. The second half of Minish Cap has some problems. The dungeon design isn't that great. What else can I say? The dungeon design isn't... for the second half. Mostly the last, like, 2 dungeons. Is it Palace of Winds or is it Fortress of Wind? There's 2, like, dungeons with the name Wind in them. One is good. I think Fortress is good, but Palace isn't. And then the last dungeon has some cryptic bullshit in it that I didn't like. I mean, it's still fine. And yeah, it does. It's the last one made by Capcom. And I think Capcom did a great job. So now, instead of going back into that hellscape, we can come down here. And we have our magic upgrade. Exactly what we needed. So now, I looked at this map earlier, and I was like, I wonder what's going on here. If you look at it, this is a reference to the map of Zelda 1. The graveyard, Death Mountain. It's everything in here is a reference to Zelda 1, which is very neat. I think it's just a little Easter egg. It's not really that big of a detail, but I think it's kind of cool. Oh my god, that could screw you over so easily. Oh, shit. Yeah, Minish Cap, I like the shrinking mechanic. There's some good story. One of the things I didn't talk about in Twilight Princess, well, I kind of mentioned, I don't like the characters in Twilight Princess. I never really have. Like, most of them I think suck. But one of the few exception... Well, I mean, with the exception of Midna. Midna's a great companion. Definitely one of the better... Definitely the best character in Twilight Princess. But, where was I going with that? But I do admittedly, I think most Zeldas suck. Like, most of them are nothing. I mean, in this game, Zelda is literally asleep throughout the game. This game has a bad Zelda. But that's what I like about Minish Cap. I think Ezlo's a fine companion. I like Vati as the villain, who only shows up in that game in, I want to say, 4 Swords. But I think Vati is a fine villain. Oh god, I should return to the town and heal. Wow, I did that. I did all of Death Mountain again on with just 1 life. That's rather good for me. I'm almost never that lucky. Of course, I'm gonna botch it up right here by dying. I'm 670 XP. I'm halfway there. But I guarantee you I'm going to die before I get to the next XP thing. Yeah, I'm totally gonna die. But yeah, Minish Cap it has a lot going for it. Being one of the Capcom ones. Capcom knew how to make a good Zelda, surprisingly. I know, something must have happened. There's a reason why they don't make them anymore. But hey, when they did some good ones. Okay, we're back here, back in hell. The weather is great here. What can I say? I cannot believe we actually managed to make it through Death Mountain. That's crazy for me. It's all the downward slash. The downward slash changed everything. Because while before I was struggling, and this is exactly what I expect from here on out, because even though this dungeon is actually supposed to be easier than than most of them, besides for like 1 or 2 bullshit moments. There's actually a lot of bullshit here. Mainly it's just I cannot figure out the pattern. These guys kill me in 1 hit, and I cannot figure out their pattern for the life of me. God. Kill me. Okay. I wish it just restart. I know the game. This is one of my. Honestly, I know there are some problems with this game. I don't like that there's not a map. Some of the RPG elements, the difficulty spike in Death Mountain is insane. But surprisingly, one of my biggest problems is that we come back here every time if you were to remake this game, I'd remove the life system. And just start you either right back where you were, or if you do the 3 lives, which modern games don't need life systems. Life systems suck. I mean, I shit on Mega Man 11 profoundly this year for having a life system. I mean, starting over at the beginning can work in a game like a roguelike. Like, I've been playing Dead Cells, and it does it fine there. But for the most part, no. No game should have a life system. And, I know retro games did it because arcades did it. Still not a good excuse. Of course we hit the ghost. Of course we hit the ghost. Okay, so where were we? Oh, shit. Oh, God. I'm not paying attention. Okay, 6 more to go. Number 6, Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time, you know, I think from like a purely... Oh, fudge me. From like a purely objective standpoint, Ocarina of Time might be the best Zelda game. Just like in what it does, its influence on other games in the franchise. Ocarina has the most going for it in that span. And I do love it. I played it... Now, if you play the original on... what is it? On N64, it has problems. But I feel like... And I mean, no game is perfect. No game is perfect. But I feel like the remake on 3DS actually did a great job at fixing up some of those problems, right? Like Iron Boots or and adding aiming, like the gyroscope aiming works great. Honestly, if you're gonna play Ocarina of Time in the modern day, pick it up on the 3DS. And yeah, I think Ocarina of Time, it's fun. I actually enjoy, once now that Iron Boots is an item, you can actually like enjoy the water temple. It's got a lot going for it. Story's fine, characters are fine. It's got Ocarina has maybe the best. It's either that or Wind Waker have the best Ganon. Like, I like Ganon in Ocarina because like he actually wins. Not he doesn't like win the he doesn't win the war, just the battle. But that's an interesting element. The time travel mechanic is interesting. The Spirit Temple was so cool, like how they do that. There's a lot to love in Ocarina. The dungeons, I mean, they're super memorable. Well, I'm specifically thinking of forest, water. Well, water was remembered for being hard. Spirit with the 2 time travels. What was the other one? There's one other big one I'm thinking of. Shadow Temple has its memorable moments. I'll always remember the time I beat the Shadow Temple. Like, I beat, like, a majority of it without the Lens of Truth, because I didn't know you had to go down into the well the first time I played it. I don't know, I don't know if you can beat the game without the Lens of Truth, but, like, you can actually make it surprisingly far in the Shadow Temple without it. I learned that the hard way. I don't think you can beat the final boss, which is kind of a big deal. But yeah, Ocarina is, and it's the most influential game of all time. If gaming doesn't really have a Citizen Kane, like the game that everyone loves and everyone points to, especially because in the modern age of the internet, people are divided on whether or not Ocarina is good. I think it is. But it is probably the most influential game of all time, for good reasons. There's just a lot to love about it. Ooh. And a lot I love about it. I'm trying to see what's next. Wind Waker. Like I said, we just beat Wind Waker this month. Wind Waker is the most charming game. It's got probably the second best character. Maybe the third best. Because they don't say anything. But they're still, like, interesting. It's got the second best Zelda, maybe. Depends on how you look at it. You know what Zelda I always liked that I don't feel like it's enough credit? Spirit Tracks. Because she literally is, like, helping you throughout the game. She gets to, because she's not kidnapped, she actually gets to be a character. Zelda in Spirit Tracks actually really works. It really tracks, you could say. Oh, boo. Go to jail. Don't pass go. Don't collect 200. Wind Waker is fun. It has some of the weaker dungeons in the franchise, admittedly. But, I know some people don't like the overworld stuff, which I totally get. It's very tedious, especially when you do the Triforce hunt. That takes forever. But I think a majority of the game does work and is really solid, and the art style is great. It's one in the battle of realism versus like stylized graphics. Wind Waker is always the reason I will point to stylized being better. Because Wind Waker, even, 20 years later, without the HD remake, still looks amazing. Twilight Princess doesn't. Twilight Princess definitely has its graphical problems. It's not like killing me or anything, and the HD remake did do it a good service. I mean, not revolutionary, but it didn't do it dirty or anything. Come on, why aren't you hitting? Come on, hit it. I think that's my death. Okay, I have one more life. Okay, I may be actually able to do this. Come on, let me get close. Oh, god damn it. God damn it. I could have totally done that. That is definitely possible. But yeah, Wind Waker is super charming. It's super charming. It's got great characters. Medley, Tetra. Link is... It's the best version of Link, because most Links suck. I hate Blink. You know, one of my biggest pet peeves, maybe even my biggest, is the silent protagonist that the viewer is supposed to project onto. I'm thinking, my first thought is Chrono Trigger usually. I don't know why, but I always think of Chrono Trigger first. For some reason. But Wind Waker has the most expressive Link, which makes him the most interesting shit. So I will always give Wind Waker Link credit for that, for actually doing something with his character, unlike most others. Shit. God, these are the most annoying enemies. Okay, next up. I was looking for something. Okay, so Link Between Worlds. Now, I said I didn't like Link to the Past, and I didn't. Even when I played Link Between Worlds for the first time, I didn't like Link to the Past. But there's something about Link Between Worlds that I just love. Again, characters, Hilda and Ravio are both great additions to the series. I know it's a giant love letter to Link to the Past, which I know some people will love. Again, that's not the reason I love Link to the Past. That's not the reason I love Link Between Worlds. I love the openness of it. You can tackle the dungeons in any order. And I know future Zelda games will do that. And based on the fact that I haven't talked about it yet, we will talk about that one. But there's just something about how Link Between Worlds did it. Yeah! Does it suffer because of that? Because only like one dungeon actually has an item? Yes, it did. But I think it just works. It works overall. The dungeon, while not perfect, the dungeon design is fine. It's not like it's killing anyone. I mean, I've thrown other games under the bus for less. What else? It's just that open world aspect of it. Just trying that out with the shop and the rupees and actually buying your items before entering the dungeon. It was a nice, fresh take on Zelda. Which, again, it was in, like, 2013, so for some Zelda fans who have been playing the games forever, it was fresh. For someone like me who's only been playing them since, like, 2011, it wasn't that big of a deal from that perspective, but I still find it interesting enough. Oh. Yeah, the graphics are fine. You know, we're so busy on the Switch of porting Wii U games over to the Switch. I'd love to see some 3DS ports. Or, like, I want a new... I know we're so focused on, oh, how much, Breath of the Wild changed Zelda. And yeah, it did. Don't get me wrong, it did. But that doesn't mean we should throw behind the 2D games. Because the 2D games can be experimentative. Sometimes they have problems, Triforce Heroes. But other times, you can do great things, like Link Between Worlds, which is... It's crazy that it's one of my favorites, even though I hate A Link to the Past so much. I find that so ironic, and it's just... in, like, a good way, in, like, a funny way. But yeah, oh yeah, I hate this game, but hey, it's it's weird spin-off. indirect sequel I love so much. I knew I was gonna die right there. Okay. Number 3, this is where it starts. These are the big boys. These are my favorites, and I could, in theory, put them in any order, but I picked this one just because. Number 3 is Skyward Sword. This is where I was making the joke earlier about how I could have just done Skyward Sword's tutorial tonight, and I personally would have been satisfied. I love Skyward Sword. I get why people hate it. It has problems that I totally admit are problems. Fee is most definitely a problem. But there's so much I love about it. I love the dungeons. The Ancient Cistern is one of my favorite dungeons in the series. It has the best boss. I love the sand ship. I love the, what's the other dungeon? There's another dungeon I really love. Okay, we're save scumming this and we're beating this right here, right now. I love this. The sand ship is such a great dungeon. The final dungeon is amazing. Everything about Skyward Sword, I totally get it. Some people complain it's too linear. Personally, I've never really gotten that from it. That's just not... Like, linearity gets a bad rap, in my opinion. Like, there are great things that can be done with linearity. And we did it. We got the raft. We at least made some progress. Oh, thank Jeebus. I don't think there's actually anything you can get from that guy. Yeah, I get the sky is empty. Not really. I like how they do the goddess cubes. Those having you do stuff in the below and then it affects you up high. That's kind of cool. Some good side quests. The pumpkin stuff I remember really liking. It's just, I think a lot of Skyward Sword just works. It gets a bad rap. A lot of it, I think, is because of Egoraptor, but that's a story for another day. I don't actually hate Egoraptor. I just have a problem with his fans. Story for another day. Story for another day. And I originally planned on ending the Year of Zelda by doing Skyward Sword. But then I ran out of time. I love it. It's probably, you know, and the other thing I need to talk about, Skyward Sword is my first Zelda game. Not technically. Technically my first is the original. And then Link to the Past, kind of. And then kind of Ocarina of 3DS. I didn't beat it, but I had played it technically. That's always complicated things. But Skyward Sword is the first Zelda game I beat. So I consider it a milestone game for me. It's the game that made me love Zelda. Like I said earlier, I didn't start playing Zelda until, what, 2011? Well, technically it was 2012 because I didn't actually pick up Skyward Sword until 2011. Or I didn't actually pick it up until, like, because it came out at the very end of the year, and I didn't pick it up until, like, the following year. And I love it. And so, yeah, it's the game that started my love of Zelda. And that's why it will always have a special place in my heart. Because it's the game that made me love this series. And so even though people will hate it, it will always be special to me. And that's what I love about it. Also, the motion controls get a bad rap. They work fine. The only problem I've ever had with the motion controls were because my nunchuck was glitching out. Other than that, I have never had a problem with the motion controls. But yeah, Skyward Sword, great. If you've never given it a chance before, you've heard bad things about it, Egoraptor, or fans who hate it just because Egoraptor doesn't like it. Which I'm actually glad Game Grumps are doing Skyward Sword, even if he still hates it, which I do expect. It's cool to see them do it. I need to get caught up. I'm very behind. I watched the first few episodes. I think it's Spoomples. Is that what they called it? That was really cool. I need to... They started doing it in live streams, which is neat. But yeah, go play Skyward Sword. You can get it on, like, the Wii U Virtual Console. Assuming you still have one of those things. Mine's back in storage. You can get one for stupid cheap. But yeah, I think it's actually buying the game. It's like $40. Or hey, it might get ported on Switch later this year, which I hope it does. I do. Because I'd totally be, even though I own it, I'd totally be down to play it again. And assuming they do some stuff to it, I'd be down to buy it again as well. Second, Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild it redid Zelda. It didn't make me fall in love with the franchise again. Well, it gave me hope in Nintendo again after the failure that was the Wii U, and it didn't make me love the Switch. I love the Switch on concept. But you know what I mean. What it did do is I think it's better put as it made me rethink how I, like, not play video games, but, like, think about them, how I critique them, stuff like that. That's the power of Skyward Sword. Or that's the power of Breath of the Wild. It made me rethink why I love games, why I play them. It does so much good. Okay, I did not know if we had a key to do that. It's open, you can do so much in the game. Okay. Okay, this is hell. You know, I'm just gonna do something stupid. That's probably not the way you should do this. That is definitely not the way you should do this. Dead end. Hey, we made it back. I mean, we could always face it this way again. There are much worse things to do. Breath of the Wild, the open world, they just nailed it. Like, I love open world games. Like, you know, I like Ubisoft games. I know Ubisoft has its problems, and they most definitely do, and, like, all their games feel the same. But I like the idea of the open world Ubisoft game. But Ubisoft's not... Nintendo just took a stab at it and did it better. The game took years to come out, but hey, when it did, it lived up to everything we imagined it would be. I remember before it came out thinking, oh, they're gonna fail. This has been built up too long. It was too good to be true. And no, it lived up to it. Hey, that enemy fell off the screen and died. Okay, so we go up here. We see this sucker. Okay, we made it up here. This is a dead end. That guy isn't. There's a way to, like, how you're actually supposed to attack them. I've been, like, cheaping them out by, like, jumping over them. But you're, like, actually supposed to attack them somehow? I don't get it. I don't get it. Breath of the Wild is great. You know, I don't have much more. You know, we literally only have number one. I am actually kind of near the boss, but I don't want to go through it all again. Let's end it off by talking about my favorite game. If you can't tell by process of elimination, it's Link's crossbow training. I own Link's Crossbow Training. I may have beaten it. I may not have. I don't remember. It's been so long. My actual number one, though, is Majora's Mask. I played Majora's Mask on the Wii Virtual Console in 2012. And then a few years later, in, I want to say 2014, maybe even 2016, I was sometime after it actually released, I picked up the remake on 3DS. And the remake is inferior in some ways, mostly swimming. But it's just, Majora's Mask is such a good game. The time mechanic, I know some people hate like time limits in games, but I think Majora's Mask does it beautifully. It's one of the best, like using the 3-day time limit. The only other game that has a time limit as good as Majora, Pikmin. All 3 Pikmin games have great time limit mechanics. But it's a game about time travel, but I don't hate it. I usually hate anything that has time travel always has problems. There's like 5 exceptions. And Majora's Mask is not one of them. Majora's Mask as a time travel story has problems, but I don't care. I do not care because I think the game is so good. Do I want to take on... No, we're going to end it off here in a minute. The time works, the dungeons work, the characters are good, the sense of dread in the world, the whole signs of grief thing, just how you progress through the game, the different dungeons, the story, the characters. Tattle is the second best companion right behind Midna. Link is more interesting, the different power-ups, much like how I praised Link's Awakening for being creative and taking its twist on the Zelda game, Majora's Mask does the exact same thing. It takes what we love about Zelda and what we loved about Ocarina of Time and twisted it on its head because of its short development time. You could say the same thing about like Melee, even though I don't like Melee, but that's a story for another day. Ocarina of Time just lives up to everything you'd expect it to be. Majora's Mask. It is again, the last 3 can kind of go in any order, but I'm putting it at number 1. It rises above the rest. Yeah, I guess you could say it has the least wrong about it. Maybe that's one way to put it. Because, I mean, Breath of the Wild does have problems. Skyward Sword is filled with problems. Even as someone who loves the game, it has problems. Majora doesn't really have, like, those problems. Yeah, even the water dungeon is good. We give the water temple too much shit in Ocarina. But I like Majora's water temple. I like it better in the original because of the better swimming. Yeah, it's a great game. It's my favorite. What can I say? And yeah, that's the year of Zelda. We didn't finish off Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. I didn't expect to. I didn't want to. Again, I would have been fine doing the tutorial of Skyward Sword. We still wouldn't have finished it. I guarantee you we wouldn't have. I could still have been going for another like hour. Because that's how long. We give Skyward Sword's opening too much shit. Twilight Princess's is actually longer. Kind of. But yeah, that's everything. I wish we had my one regret with the year of Zelda, and something I will be taking into account, because I'm doing another theme year next year. Not next week we're doing Splat and Chat. We're doing Game of the Year, Splat and Chat. I'll be giving my Games of the Year and a few other things. But after that, we're starting our next theme year. And yeah, my biggest regret, I wish I could have done Ocarina. I wish I could have done Majora. I wish I could have done Skyward Sword. But it just... Link to the Past took like 4 months. Both Twilight Princess and Wind Waker also took like 2 and 3 months. This one probably would have taken another month, probably another 2 weeks. And I have no interest, and I know I'm leaving the series uncontinued, but hey, what you gonna do? And I have no interest in coming back to it. I will beat this game though, but I'll beat it in my own time, at my own pace. Next week we're back with Splat and Chat. We're back in Splatoon. I'll be busting out the Switch again. And then we start the next theme year, which I don't want to give away what it actually is. But let's just put it like this. Among the 30 games on the SNES Classic, on the NES Classic, it is amongst them. So it is one of the games I just scrolled through. I'll actually be revealing it next year on, I think, the 4th. It's not hard to figure out what it is. It may relate to something that's happening next year, or at least something that I predict is happening next year. Well, something that is happening next year, because it's Mario, and we're doing a new Super Mario Brothers U comes out. No, it's not Mario. I'll say it's not Mario. It's something else. You know, right? It could be anything. This was a shit show. This entire stream. I did not want to come back and do this, but I had to. I had an obligation. It's a perfect way to end off the year of Zelda. We actually went back through Mount Rage Quit, and I didn't hate it. Again, I could see myself liking the Adventure of Link. It's just, it's too hard. It's too hard. But I hope you all enjoyed. Have a happy new year. I'll see you all in the new year. Until next time, peace.